clay pipe, Jupiter Farmer. Well, we changed it, Vegan Farmer. And today we're going to talk about the neem oil. And I got my little selfie here. I really don't need to press the record button quite yet, but I just did a video without pressing the record button. I turned the damn thing on, but didn't press record button. So I had to go reset everything. Now I got, instead of a ladder cam, I got a light stand that I'm using with my DSLR up there for the aerial perspective. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this little project. And just to let you guys know, I figured out how to do basically a screen grab off the computer internally and captures audio too. I mean, maybe some of you are aware of Camtasia. It's a great application, but you have to record the audio externally and it's usually really degraded. So this way you can capture videos with its, what's the name of it? It is savefornet.com. It's awesome. Audio's stunning, everything's perfect. I mean, it's a perfect application. But anyway, so I'm going to capture audio of the John Kohler video where he describes, or his guest describes, the benefit of neem oil. I'm going to insert it at some point in this video. It's really brief, but it's very informative. I left a link in my other video of how to, use the neem. It was pretty uninformative, but there was a link there which would help. But this way, it'll be a one-stop shop. You can go and get whatever you need. Anyway, so here we have, the issue today is scale. We have scale galore on these bok choy. And these bok choy are some really cool looking plants. They're awesome to look at. I mean, I'm sure they're delicious if you know how to cook them, which I don't, which I'm gonna learn how to cook. But, and what I did is I had a tray and we had this bed here where we put the curly kale in, and looks like something ate that bad boy right there, decapitated it right off. And we had that little section here. I thought I'd put some of those onions I have in there, but that bok choy fills it up nicely, and it's kind of close to the other lettuces, so that kind of works a little bit. But so we're gonna spray the neem oil here on this and see how that works out. Get this a little better. And also, neem oil is awesome on the powdery mildew, which the guy goes into detail on how to keep that under control on these squash. And got some baby squash in there. The flowers in the morning are gorgeous. I mean, if you like looking at flowers, growing squash, and you're an early bird and you like to come out early, growing squash is pretty cool. Let me adjust this bad boy. I usually have it like at that angle. Now that's better. And I like to keep it straighter so I can get those low shots, but I'm not used to holding I need to probably learn to hold the damn thing different. Anyway, I want to show you these. These are beautiful. The squash with the flowers on them. I mean, I know a lot of people probably haven't seen squash with a flower on it, little baby squash. Anyway, so this video is gonna be on neem oil and just a nice shot of the garden. It's gorgeous. It's January the 3rd. It's finally a cool day. We're having a little cool weather finally. Thank God we needed it. I did a video 2 days ago, and I was hot as hell. It was terrible. Anyway, these are those long, lanky. Damn, man. What happened? Did I hit the... Oh, Lordy, I must have hit the record button. I guess when I'm flipping this thing around, I must be hitting that record button accidentally. When I'm turning this thing around, I gotta learn to grab it at the base. Something. By God, I'm not redoing this video over though. we're gonna go with what we got. I'm gonna try it like that. Try it straight up and down a little bit better. It's probably a little too close for comfort. All right, guys, we'll touch back in and wrap the video up. But in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and get to spraying. It's been way past due. We're gonna put the neem oil on the tomato plants. This is a virus. It's a soil-borne virus. I mean, it lives in the soil. And I definitely want to get over here and spray these bad boys, because I guess it gets airborne and it came from the other side and they're already on there. But if I just spray once a week, I'll be good. And of course, I have not sprayed but twice this whole year in 3 months. You grow enough of it, you know, you can lose 50% of your crop and still have more than you can eat, which is a nice thing. All right, guys, we'll check back in.
Green, Dr. Bronner's Salsud soap and neem oil recipe. Let's go take a look at John's garden, where his famous tree collards have been suffering from a particularly ugly infestation. Through JK's uber garden jungle we go, past his stricken tree collard greens here, and let's go take a peek at what he has over here. Wow, well, what do we have here? These look like some seriously infested tree collard greens. And just what are these bugs and the resident colony? Who are these little suckers who've been inhabiting John's hapless tree collard leaves? I mean, my God, they've simply gone to town here, I'm afraid. Any of you GYGers who are entomologists out there, we could use some help in identifying these little suckers. They almost look somewhat like orange overlarge ladybugs, definitely some sort of a mealybug or a leaf miner type creature. Oh man, this is a pretty serious infestation. Well, we're going to win this battle with our favorite all-time pest control recipe, and we're going to keep John's garden free of these nasty critters once and for all. I've yet to find a better all-around pest and disease controlling recipe than the one that I'm about to tell you of. But first of all, you're going to need any type of quart or pint-sized jar that's partly filled with warm water, alright? This part is important, and we'll talk about why you need this item in a minute. Now these here are the two vital ingredients which make up our boogie bug battling super formula. Dr. Bronner's Salsud soap and cold pressed neem oil. This one's called, appropriately enough, super clean neem. Alright? So now, Dr. Bronner's. A lot of you are familiar with their famous line of Castile soaps, which are considered the world's finest quality, containing only the purest of ingredients, with no harsh or caustic agents in their recipe. It's the only allowed soap, for instance, used in places like the Havasupai Indian Reservation, which is a pristine environment located deep in the depths of the Grand Canyon, where the native tribal-dwelling residents have insisted that their land be respected and that their soil ecosystem remains completely clean, pure, and unpolluted. Now, this is not your more typical Bronner's soap, like their popular Castile line of peppermint, almond, or, for instance, their lavender body soaps, but it's their high suds formula. It's made for increased detergent power, and you can find this in your local health food store's dish and laundry soap section. Now, as is typical with Dr. Bronner's labeling, there's a ton of information on here. It's made basically from some of the cleanest soap substances on earth, including coconut fatty acids. Now, what I love about this product are its fantastic penetrating, surfactant, and wetting agent capabilities. It is a superb spreader sticker agent, and it can be used as a valuable mixing ingredient with a whole host of foliar foods for your plants. The cool thing about Dr. Bronner's is that they give you 1% Canadian fir and Canadian spruce needle oil. These are pure essential oils from fir and spruce, and which are added to increase the soap's purifying powers. There's been a lot of research indicating the benefits of pine oil to plants, including a fair degree of bug repellency, as well as in aiding nitrogen uptake. But of course, our true hero in the boogie bug battle is undoubtedly neem oil. This has become my favorite brand. It's called, appropriately enough, Super Clean Neem. And what makes this particular neem oil so effective is the fact that it's actually obtained from a truly cold-pressed oil, not just expeller-pressed. Now, those of you who are familiar with good quality olive oil will know the difference between expeller-pressed and a truly cold-pressed virgin oil. And Clean Neem fulfills its name with its purity and quality. Now, let's not forget that in India, where I believe the neem tree actually originates from, throughout history, they've experienced devastating locust infestations, which have been known to wipe out an entire county-wide region of all green plant life. The only plant which is left entirely untouched by these massive locust scourges, where they come through and they consume every piece of green vegetative matter that they can devour, is the neem tree. Now, that right there indicates to me neem's supreme bug repelling abilities. Now, neem is actually great for human health. It's good for the immune system, for infections, viruses, and all disorders of the human musculoskeletal system. There's a multitude of benefits from neem, and I'm not going to pontificate to you about it all here. But you can go to a website called neemfoundation.org, and you can learn more of this truly amazing panacea. All parts of the neem tree, from its bark to the leaves, the fruit, and indeed the oil from its seeds, contains beneficial properties. The tree even grows in arid climates, it thrives in poor soils, and it's actually even able to restore depleted soils of lost nutrients. Now, believe it or not, a giant chemical and pharmaceutical corporation, I believe it was a company known as W.R. Gracie, they actually tried to patent the neem tree for their own profit-driven usage, and by the 1990s, they were defeated in their efforts to monopolize such a valuable natural species by a coalition of farmers from India and environmental activists in Europe, who were able to get the International Patent Office to successfully revoke the patent. I mean, how can you earn the exclusive rights to a native tree, right? It's ridiculous, and it's highly indicative of the greed which these chemical pesticide companies will go to in order to maintain a stranglehold on the world's entire farming infrastructure. The truth is, neem is highly effective as a natural and potent pesticide on over 90% of invasive bug species without any long-term adaptation or resistance by the target insects to its multitude of natural compounds. Now, keep in mind that this is not the case with those chemical pesticides, which the manufacturers have to keep reformulating as they unleash ever stronger compounds in an effort to outpace the bug's own population's abilities with each new generation to build increased resistance to mankind's latest salvo of poisons. Now, you talk about an endlessly toxic and deadly cycle which is being maintained by our corporatocracy's grip on world farming, and one which is entirely, in my opinion, unnecessary to boot. So, you're going to take these two products, and as I said earlier, it's very important to use a warm jar with water, and these items make up the basic recipe. You're going to take your jar, and you're going to add 2 tablespoons per gallon of each ingredient to your jar. Now, today, because the weather's warm, the neem oil actually possesses good viscosity, and as you can see, it's flowing pretty easily out of the container. But for those of you in colder climates, or if you've stored your neem in a cooler environment where it can easily solidify in the bottle, it will be necessary for you to place the neem bottle in a bowl of warm water for a few minutes first, so that you do have a good flowing, highly viscous substance. So, you see how I'm putting the neem into the water there? I'm actually supposed to put the required 2 tablespoons of oil into the water. This is just for demonstration. And look at that. It's already kind of globulating. As you can see, it won't mix properly. Now, here's where the magic happens. You're going to take your jar, you're going to add in an equal quantity, in this case 2 tablespoons, just for the video's sake I'm going to approximate it, of Dr. Bronner's Southside soap. And we're going to start mixing it up a little bit, and I can see already it's starting to form a cloud. Now, we're going to make a neem milk shake. Just shake it. See that? Within seconds, you have a wonderfully emulsified substance, which is going to be far more easily utilized and diffused across the plant tissue foliage, allowing for much better penetration and overall coverage. Now, some optional additives that you can elect to use are products like rosemary and clove oils, even essential oils like peppermint, cinnamon, and orange oil, which should all be judiciously applied, of course. And these can be useful in particularly stubborn bug infestations. Rosemary, for instance, is reputed to work extremely well against spider mites, although in my experience, the basic soap and neem recipe has always sufficed for me. Clove oil is also known as one of the only reliable killers of the mite's own eggs, whereas with the neem oil, the reproductive cycle will get disrupted, but it's going to take a few spray applications for that to occur. So it can be helpful to use these other types of products if you really want to destroy the eggs, etc. Now, there's quite a few organic pest control products out there with these kinds of oils. This particular one here is made by OAP, Organic Ag Products, and it's called Rid Bugs. Now, I've gone and added a couple of capfuls of it for good measure to the soap and neem base, which I already have here in a pre-mixed jar, so that we can aggressively go after JK's own bug colony here.